Okay, so part of this is going to be scripted, part of it isn't. You read the title, you know what this is about. I'm not one of the people who are going to boycott the awards this year. I frankly don't care whether or not Morgan Wallen is nominated, and to those who do, please watch this brief clip from the movie Cars.
Look at those trophies!
You look. All I see is a bunch of empty cups.
It's just an empty trophy. Who gives a flying crap about an ACM award? Half the time, you people complain that the awards mean nothing, so now you care just because he's not nominated? Grow up. If you are truly a fan of Morgan Wallen, you'll support him and his music, awards or not. Your appreciation of his music will mean more to him than any other accolade ever will. But that wasn't the reason I stopped watching. And yes, I was watching them for a while, but as I went along, I was just getting bored. I had to leave for a moment to check on the chicken stock I was making, which was going to take about 10 minutes. I left around the time Gabby Barrett was performing, and I had a moment of clarity. The award shows these days aren't worth it. We already know what's going to win. If you want to find out, literally just look up the country year-end chart on billboard.com. Every award given was mostly a top song, top artist. The ACMs are no longer about quality, they are just a popularity contest. Whoever had the most successful song on the radio was going to win an award. It was predictable and not worthwhile, as 90% of the time the winner wasn't a good song or actively trying to be country music. Truly exceptional albums like Never Will aren't going to win because their names aren't big enough. I mean, Chris Stapleton winning Album of the Year was good, but he only won because of how big his name was in the industry. He had the top selling new album of 2020. It's not like the voters of these awards actively listen to the albums. So yeah, it's not worth celebrating anymore when your winners are the most predictable format ever. But what about the performances? They had to be great and worth seeing? No, not really. The biggest reason I decided to watch this show was to support my favorite artists, and there were some great performances. Dierks Bentley and Carrie Underwood all brought it on stage. But almost everything was awkward, boring, lazy. So many of them have lost that finesse that make live performances great, opting out for hollow, lifeless husks of performances. And it just wasn't worth it, as they're trying to draw in a new crowd of people like Elle King showing up and headlining a song that's not even being released as a country song or to country radio. Not to mention, the ACMs are just hypocrites. Tying back to the whole Morgan Wallen issue, they say they are progressive, but once again, they're just saying this to gain new audience members whilst alienating their current ones. I don't have a problem with nominating all women in a category or having up-and-coming black artists be nominated. That's actually a great thing given how much of a disparity there is. But the problem is, they have no idea who they are nominating. The Bones and I Hope are some of the most stalest pop songs out there. They got Mickey Guyton to host, yet refused to nominate or allow people like Yola to perform, who is one of the most talented under-the-radar country acts. They gave the award for Best Music Video to Worldwide Beautiful by Kane Brown because it's a progressive song. And that isn't the problem. The problem is that the song itself isn't good. They could have nominated BFE or For My Daughter, both of which are great. If they wanted a good progressive song to win, they could have given the award to Better Than We Found It. But no, we have to give it to the big name country star who is also a man. That honestly is more patronizing and a bit more insulting than refusing to acknowledge them at all. I can name a handful of artists who deserve to be on that stage. Hailey Whitters, Brandy Clark, Morgan Wade. Frankly, I would have rather had Taylor Swift and Kelly Clarkson back, given how much they understand what country music is. And after all these years, after preaching how much they progressed with country music, they still refuse to nominate the Dixie Chicks for a single thing. It's just so painstakingly obvious when they nominate a southern rock group. That isn't me paraphrasing. The Cadillac 3 literally calls themselves a southern rock group, and still refuse to nominate the most highly known and most highly respected country music group in history. You aren't progressive. Y'all are just a bunch of fakers, driven by trying to get as many new viewers as possible to hoard as much money as they can. You'll keep bringing along pop stars like Justin Bieber, Halsey, Charlie Puth, people who don't even know a single fundamental of what makes country music great, just so you can get your grubby paws on money, rather than bring in popular faces who do understand the greatness of this genre like Post Malone and The Rock, who actually do care about this genre's integrity. As of this release, the ACM award ratings have fallen to such an all-time low because no one cares anymore. They've caught up with your act and they are kissing your sorry butt goodbye and moving on to new respected faces with Overshore and Grady Smith because they understand the quality this genre offers. They understand what makes this genre great. And slowly more and more people will turn to them until either your pathetic organization gets its act together or you'll become obsolete and fall into irrelevancy. Frankly, I could care less, as I'm completely done with you. I'll continue to support and criticize the artists I care about, and you can continue tarnishing the good name of country music. People like me will just continue to salvage it. That's all I really have to say. I don't want to make this an overcomplicated video. Thank you, and good night.